And now, speaking of intellectual strength and intellectual broccoli, The End of Fate by Sam Harris. I just recently discovered Sam Harris while watching his debate with Jordan Peterson. And Sam Harris is, I guess, he's an atheist. And that's cool. I don't really go for the dogmatic atheist or the evangelical atheists that just want to call everybody that believes stupid because they just made atheism another religion. There's a lot of folks on Twitter like that. They're just mad because their pastor touched them, or I'm not trying to make a joke about it. They're mad because their Christian parents didn't let them be kids at the time. I've been there, but you got to get over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you regret when you was younger. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, my dad's a preacher, and when I was young, I wanted to play the horn like Miles Davis. I'm from New Orleans. Every time I see that guy Jonathan Baptiste on CBS on Stephen Colbert, I'm like, that should have been me, because I like that old classic jazz, but my father's a Christian, so that wasn't gonna play. I tried to join the band. He told me, hell no, because we couldn't march in parades and all. That's his belief. Say, free country. You believe what you want to, but you know, and I was upset about that for a long time, and some of the other things I missed out. But I mean, you gotta realize, hey man, people have their beliefs. They try to do what's best, what they deem best, and hey, you can't be walking around being mad at your parents or the church that hurt you or whatever for the rest of your life. So if you choose to be an atheist for that reason, then you really just need to mature and grow up. But Sam Harris, he's very intellectual. He really gives some good points. He talks, especially with Islam, he talks about how belief and faith can make like good people, rational people do some very irrational stuff, you know. And I wouldn't go as far as him to say, that if we put the scale out and say, has religion caused more harm than good? And he talks about well-being. If we all agree that well-being is the pursuit in life, is it done more harm than good? And that's, I don't know, that's a very philosophical question. Has it done more harm than good? It depends on who you ask. And how do you define harm or good? You know, we can talk in this society, we can talk about the Muslims, but the Muslims don't have kids running around killing each other with AK-47s. You know what I mean? The Muslims don't have, you know, guys raping, and just some of the problems that we deal with in America. So, but then when you don't let women drive, but you let women get covered up, you know, hey. But some people would say, hey, there's no Me Too movement in Afghanistan. But I don't know. I found this book fascinating. I like read it twice. I read it once. And I was like, man, I need to read. And I'm very tempted to reading again. And at the end, he kind of answers some questions that people sent him in this version and afterward. And I had just finished reading it, and I want to see one of the questions. It says, yes, religion occasionally causes violence, but the greatest crimes of the 20th century were perpetuated by atheists. Godlessness, as witnessed by the regimes of Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, and Kim Jong Il, is the most dangerous condition of all. And he explains it beautiful how those those states didn't come about because of atheism. Those came out because of dogma. But then he fails to realize that you can make that same argument when you talk about the Inquisition or the Crusades. That's what the Christian would do. The Christian would say, okay, no, that's not Christianity. Those were evil men, and a Muslim can do that too. Those are evil men, and they're using our religion as a cover. And who do you believe? I think it goes some ways. I think there's some people that are very misguided and they just want something to live for. They want a purpose in life. So they'll go up and blow up a building just to have that purpose because they truly believe that. And then you got the guys, a lot of times the guys that's preaching it or telling them, they have a different aim. It's just like, in the African American community, after years and years, most people are finally waking up and seeing that, a lot of these pastors and preachers, they don't really believe that. It's just they want to finance. A lot of them just need jobs, or in America, it's kind of difficult for a lot of Black people to kind of get financially stable, or whatever, especially if they don't have education. And hey, I can get a Bible. And if I can talk to people good, and certain people are gifted in that, they can get people to follow them. That's why they say a lot of pastors used to be pimps. And if you think about it, it's the same way. But they're not doing that genuinely. And how can you judge if somebody's being genuine? And that's my critique of Sam Harris. He explains it beautifully how it happens, but are those people really the genuine believers? Because I think my opinion is you can take the religion out. You can ban all religion today. You could ban Christianity and wave a magic wand and make everybody forget it. I get it within 2 weeks. There'll be something else. It'll be everybody with their fingers with a crook in it, or better than the people with straight fingers, or everybody with a receding hairline is better than the guys with hair. You know what I mean? I think it's a part of human nature, and we're always going to find some difference in our group that are going to make us feel superior. Some people have that need to feel superior of other people. I think everybody has it to an extent, but some people goes too far. Just I guess it would be like an alcoholic and a drinker. So, but yes, if you're interested in philosophy or religion, check this guy out, Sam Harris. He has a podcast too. I listen to one, but I don't really listen to the podcast unless I'm jogging or if I'm driving. I don't really listen to him at home. But yes, this guy's. I got a few more books by him too that I'm reading, but he really gives a case on how being dogmatic and not being agnostic, not questioning, not proving your beliefs, can really turn bad. And I think it's just a balance. I think you can practice a religion without being an asshole. And some of us are just natural assholes. So we become a Christian, and our asshole listeners just goes into that. When I used to go to church, there was people that was messy and like to start mess and fights and all. And then they got into church, and then they just used the Bible to do that. You know what I mean? It's like those playboys. They just come to church, and then they just start using the Bible to get women. So I don't think it's religion at its core, belief at its core, but it's that underlying desire, and religion is used for that. But that's just my opinion. I wish I could talk to Sam Harris about it. Maybe one day I will. But check out his debate with him and Jordan Peterson too, if you're interested. It's about 2 hours long, but if you get a chance to sit down and listen, is very informational. I mean, these guys are true thinkers, man. I'm really. I wouldn't say I'm becoming a disciple, but that guy Jordan Peterson and these guys, like they kind of like turning me out. Like I really just like reading their books. I really like listening to them speak. They're coming from a very different perspective. But The End of Fate, check it out. Sam Harris. Peace.